Rim Country Forum today being brought to you by the ITD Group Computer Services, Suites by Kim Ross, Off-Road Trash Company, George Henry Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, Little Stinker Septic Service, and Banner Payson Medical Center. Well, it's 4.5 minutes past 9 o'clock. We're at 47 degrees, and yep, it's Friday. And you know what that means. It's time for your hometown movie guys. And at least one gal. We have Tina, we have Andy, and we have Craig with us in the studio telling us everything we ever wanted to know and more about the movies. Thanks for coming along with us. And thank you all for coming in and being with us this morning. How's everybody doing?
Well, besides being cranky, I'm excellent.
Yeah, we were before the show today thinking about, we need a movie trivia question today, and Tina said she was cranky, and I said, well, maybe we should just ask the question, your favorite cranky woman in a movie.
Yeah, that would be Betty Davis, of course.
Betty Davis, in your opinion, huh?
Yeah.
Anybody else got a quick vote on that one before we get started?
Nope.
Yeah, sounds like someone has to go home to a wife.
I'll go Sigourney Weaver.
Oh, Sigourney Weaver, yeah, she
yeah.
kind of cranky stuff once in a while.
Aliens.
As Ripley, right?
Yeah, Aliens.
Who is the lady that played in Joe Mama from the Train?
I knew Anne, somebody. I knew it. I looked it up. You're looking at me.
Embrace your microphone.
Embrace my Google.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was kind of a
Yeah, she
cranky
was.
female part.
Yes, I shall restore myself here.
Well, at any rate, and she just passed away a few years ago. I'm trying to remember her name, and I know we were talking about it earlier. It escapes me.
It was Anne Ramsey.
Anne Ramsey.
Yes, sir.
She had kind of an interesting voice.
Oh, and a cranky face.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Yeah, it didn't really. Maybe it was more than just makeup.
Well, and then we talked about Kathy Bates in Misery.
Oh man.
She wasn't just cranky though; she was murderous. I mean, cranky is a sort of it's a floating category.
That was a movie that
I can't.
I mean, it's just a very uncomfortable movie to watch.
That's an understatement of the century.
It would have been even more uncomfortable to endure it in real life. But I mean, there was just that. When I go see a movie, I want to be entertained. I don't want to be made to feel cruddy for 2 hours.
Cruddy? Yeah, I ran screaming from the theater. I hated that movie.
Yeah, well, other than that, how'd you
Yeah,
like
really,
it?
that made me cranky.
Yeah. And she hasn't gotten over it yet.
No.
And anyway, we have a number of other little trivia questions, but if you have a favorite cranky woman in a movie, let us know, 474-2427. Of course, we need to talk about...
How have we descended?
This is called, what the
Descendants.
heck are we going to talk about today, Maynard? I don't know, let's talk about cranky women. Anyway, we got to talk about a lot of different things. One of them is the fact that tomorrow at the Sawmill Theaters is the first Saturday of the month, so it's Classic Movie Saturday, and you got The King and I playing tomorrow. That's
Yes, we
cool.
do, yes. Yul Brynner.
That's, what was that, in the 60s when that came out? I didn't mean to throw a quiz at
I
you.
want to say
again.
56?
Really?
I think it is.
A widow accepts a job as a live-in governess to the King of Siam's children. Now, again, you can get in tomorrow morning. It's at 10 a.m., the special showing. You can get in for just $5, but it's a great Rodgers and Hammerstein movie, a classic. And again, where else do you get a chance to see that on the big screen except for tomorrow morning at the Sawmill Theaters? And Tina's still trying to figure out when that movie came out, and we'll find out about that more in a moment. Now, are you still doing the thing, Craig, where you're asking people, what they think would be good for a movie next month?
Yeah, we need to come up with something, too.
Because next month it's all about April, so I don't know, maybe a springtime flick, or I don't know. What
spring's a tough one. There's not really spring movies out there.
Springtime for Hitler.
Well, and it's
Ooh, the producers.
Well, maybe April showers. Bring May flowers. Maybe we should talk about best shower scenes in a movie. Alfred Hitchcock.
Psycho.
Yeah.
I don't know. But at any rate, again, always a lot of fun. The first Saturday of the month at the Sawmill Theaters.
I'm actually leaning towards Amadeus.
Ooh, now that would be a good one. The story of Mozart.
1984.
Yes. Has it been that long?
With Tom
Yeah.
Hulse.
I really like that movie.
Yeah.
I admired Mozart's work, but I found the story of his life to be pretty eccentric, and I thought they did a pretty decent job of showing that.
That was the Best Picture winner for 1984.
Really?
A great movie.
Oh. Well, definitely talk about the Oscars more here tonight.
And The King and I was made in 1956.
It was 56.
It
Wow.
was indeed.
Before I was even a glimmer in my mom's eye. Wow.
Oh dear, well, I was 9. I had glimmered for 9 years.
What's it like being old?
It's really old. It's getting
It's
old.
getting old quick, yeah.
Really.
Well, some of the other things playing at the Sawmill Theaters this week, now, Cold Pursuit, is that, that's not, we don't have anything new starting today, do we?
Oh, yeah, that's actually Cold Pursuit
That
and
was new. Okay.
Happy Death Day 2 are the two new ones.
All right, now, first of all, Cold Pursuit is rated R. It's about a snowplow driver seeks revenge against the drug dealers he thinks killed his son, based on the 2014 Norwegian film In Order of Disappearance. Interesting. Again, rated R, plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. What do we know about this so far?
Liam Neeson.
All right.
I guess this is supposed to be a little bit of a divergence. It's not, you're not going to see another Taken film or,
Yeah.
you know, he's
But
kind
he
of,
will find you.
Yeah, he's done a few of those, and this is supposed to be a little bit of a breakup from that.
Right.
A little bit of a comedy, you know, some humorous aspects to this one also.
Good.
It's supposed to be very good. I have not seen it myself yet. But
Very nice. And also the other one starting today, as you mentioned, Happy Death Day 2. And,
This is a sequel to Happy Death Day 1.
that would explain the whole two-part. Thank you for sharing that.
This is why we get the big bucks.
Yeah, actually. Tree Gelbins discovers that dying over and over was surprisingly easier than the dangers that lie ahead. This is rated PG-13, plays at 1:30, 4:30, and 7:30, and as I recall, though I had not seen it, Death Day 1 was kind of along the lines of a little bit more twisted version of Groundhog Day, where the
Yeah.
person keeps going through their own murder time
yeah,
after time.
when she dies, yeah, she wakes up the next day and has to go back and try to solve her own murder.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It's, I saw the original here just recently, and was really quite charming.
This coming from the zombie flick aficionado.
I thought it was going to be just some stupid slasher flick,
Right.
like Tourists or
Right.
there's-
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, there's been dozens and dozens of those,
Yeah.
but it wasn't at all. It was really fun. It's the same setup as Groundhog Day. Except in Groundhog Day, Bill Murray was a jerk, and in order to get out of this cycle, he had to unjerkify himself.
Unjerkify. Okay.
And in this one, this young college girl is brutally murdered, and her cosmic task is to solve the mystery of her own murder, and it's really fun because she gets irritated, and she has to, the whole thing is, everything is just the same. She gets up, goes out, the same college kids are in the quad. By the time she's seen them, 8 or 10 times, she doesn't have much use for them anymore.
Right.
It's really pretty fun, and I expect this one will be identical.
So I'm assuming that they're working humor into this thing. Then,
Yes,
too.
Yeah, oh, absolutely,
This
yeah.
is PG-13. It's not
okay.
it's not a
Yeah, this-
full-on slasher film.
Right. No buckets of gore.
Yes, yeah.
Very interesting. So
So I'm looking forward to seeing this.
now,
Although
I know you and Tina usually go hit the theaters on Fridays, and
Yep.
Is that the one you're looking to see today?
I've been instructed that I will be seeing.
Like a cranky woman.
Yeah. I will be seeing the Liam Neeson movie,
Cold Pursuit. Okay.
Cold Pursuit.
All right. Well, good luck on Happy Death Day to you.
Why, thank you.
And so now, why is it, just because I can't help but asking, Tina, that you don't want to go see Happy Death Day to you?
It doesn't interest me.
Oh, well, that's
And
good enough
Liam
reason.
Neeson wreaking havoc, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, wreaking, it's both, actually. It really interests me.
I'm assuming that they could have the audio completely turned off and you'd still be entertained just watching Liam Neeson.
Not just Liam Neeson, but apparently what he does. I saw the trailers, and there are some very satisfying moments for a cranky person in there.
Okay, keep that in mind. Also now, if you're thinking
Yeah,
of...
one of his victims, according to the trailers, is resting in his automobile, and
Yeah.
Liam Neeson drops a tree trunk right through the roof of his car. Now, we haven't seen that one before,
Well, that
folks.
could be depressing.
It's way cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now, are these big dollar movies? These kind of medium dollar movies? Do we have any numbers on them yet?
Oddly enough, we do. Let's see.
And we know where those numbers
Okay. Okay, we have 6 movies out this week, and 1, 2, 3 of them are profitable. Happy Death Day 2 is profitable.
are. How long has that been out?
I don't know, I don't know what it came out, but it's
3 weeks ago, I think it came out.
yeah.
3 weeks and they're already in the green. That's nice.
Well, they spent $9 million making it,
Well,
which is.
that's not a very big budget at all.
No,
by
but
today's standards.
that's one of the things about, horror flicks, is they don't cost much to make. But it's brought in $43 million at the box office, and it's
Sweet.
still just putting right along, so, yeah, that's good. Cold Pursuit, on the other hand, these idiots, I don't know what's the matter with Hollywood. They should hire me as a consultant, I think.
Okay.
But they spent $60 million making this thing, and it's brought in $44 million so far, and it's been out 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, some of that was it's a Lionsgate film, and they've been, actually part of why we didn't get it until just now, they just skipped the small towns.
Right, just large markets only to begin with?
Yeah, to begin with, and I think that actually hurt them. I think this came out the same day as the Lego movie, so I don't know if it would have gone #1 in the country, but it probably would have been close if they had,
Wow.
done a better job releasing this. And Lionsgate is a little bit of a smaller film company, so they do that occasionally.
Right.
Well, big error on their part.
I agree, I agree.
Well, and if you're thinking, well, I don't really want any, death or maiming or anything like that, hey, there's some other great choices for you
Sure,
also.
Alita Battle Angel.
Isn't it romantic? Yeah. Anyway, we have a whole bunch of things today, but we have to take a fast break. We'll be back with more on Rim Country Forum right after these words.
By Kim Ross.
Terribly violent.
That's another one that they.
I just watched Terminator 2.
But they're getting their worldwide. China's come in. China jumped in on their numbers now, so I think they're up over 200 million now. But
Yeah, it's still not enough.
They
got a ways to go yet.
we really need a sequel to.
Space for organizations and clubs
We
and
need a sequel to that one. They just kind of ended it.
special
Believe
care and
that.
design.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm sure we'll get a sequel.
To make you feel
I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was technically, I thought it was very interesting with what they did with the animation.
All the special effects were just unbelievable.
Honey, who
That
can
was
we
really
get to
neat.
clean our house? At
They're
your
getting
service.
so good at that
In
stuff.
those
So good at
windows.
that.
At your service,
I have to say, it's not as bad as the Great
We
Wall.
need somebody to cut down all this
No,
brush
oh
and
no.
firewalls.
Oh, it's way better than
At your service.
Mortal Engines.
Hi, this is Tammy. We'll take care of you from house cleaning to
I bet
tree
Sam-
trimming.
What were they thinking?
Whenever you have
I
trees.
don't
Haul it off with your Bose
Let's put
firewalls.
London on treads.
Yeah, that was a little strange. It didn't translate well.
What is this now? What did I ask?
Mortal Engines.
Oh,
They got London on treads and it.
Didn't
Didn't they do that in Monty Python? In The Meaning of Life, at the start of it, it was just a building. The building was driving around. It was a corporation, and they were attacking other corporations that way. They were all the old guys, and they were firing filing cabinets through their windows like cannons. And
filing
That
cabinet.
sounds like fun.
yeah, the Meaning of Life, the start of it.
Call them at
All right, here we go. 10 seconds.
937 or stop by our showroom at 905 South Beeline Highway in Payson. George Henry Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling.
Welcome back, 18 minutes past 9 o'clock, 48 degrees. I'm Randy Roberson. This morning on Rim Country Forum, as we do on Fridays, we have the movie guys with us, Tina, Andy, and Craig. We've got another caller on the line, as a matter of fact, so before we lose them, let's go to the phones. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning.
Good morning to my favorite people.
Good morning.
Now, first off, of course, happy anniversary to Randy Roverman and his wife Diane, who probably have the shiniest halo in Rim Country.
Yeah, she's sadly, with the plight that she's been given, she's right up there with Mother Teresa.
Oh, and thanks to Craig for bringing to us the movie They Shall Not Grow Old. I think a while ago Colin had requested it, and Craig wasn't sure, but he got it. Now, I wasn't sure that I wanted to see a war movie till I read Mr. McKinney's movie review from the Roundup on like the 22nd. Oh, piqued my curiosity. thank you, Andy, because
You're
I,
quite welcome. I'm happy to do it.
unlike this on the big screen, it just, I try not to get too adjective-y, which is not a word, but,
Sure it is.
it starts out. You're ready to fill your popcorn, you know?
Well, don't. Left, yeah.
Yeah. you
But,
know,
but how adjectivacious you are. If not, it should be.
Adjective-esque.
You just said it, so it's a word now.
Yeah.
Then this would be a great history class, you know, to take the kids to see this movie. I would say juniors and seniors in high school, or maybe
Okay.
we get another chance this week, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Medea,
Oh,
what
Medea.
movie? What, I'm
Oh,
drawing a
lots,
blank.
lots of movies.
That's one.
That's, yeah. Tyler Perry.
Ah,
yes,
okay.
in drag, right.
Ah, there you
Ah,
go.
good.
Okay, okay.
Jesse, you know, he's driving a snow plow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All too true.
Oh, well, bless you, and I was trying to be somebody else, but thank you for that. Yeah, or no, I'll be terrible.
Terrible.
Embrace your crankiness. Hey, thanks for the call. All right, wow, interesting. So,
You know, that was, They Shall Not Grow Old, just did terrible up here too.
really?
And I don't know, I'm not sure what happened there.
Oh,
You know, we played it in Wickenburg also, and the same thing happened there, and it seems like,
Is it just not enough promotion out there for it?
you know what, we had it for 2 weeks. I mean, people saw it, you know, I'm sure word was out there.
I really wanted to see that. I've got a great excuse this time. I couldn't get away.
Yeah, so like I said, I don't know what happened there, and you know, especially with Payson, you know, a little bit of an older crowd here. I really thought it was going to be busy and people would love it, and
Well, you know, and I got to ask at the same time, you know, during that, what, two weeks that you had it here?
yes.
You know, we had some pretty lousy weather. Did the snow and everything affect you at the theater much?
Well, yeah, actually, we were closed Thursday.
A week ago yesterday?
We go yesterday. You know, that's the first time.
First time since you've opened.
Since we've opened.
And you've
yeah.
been open there for like 5,000 years or something,
Yeah,
haven't you?
yeah.
yeah.
Or maybe
Oh, you know what,
4,000.
actually, I think we might have closed when the Cardinals and Steelers played in the Super Bowl.
Well, I
We
mean,
might have closed for that
Who-
Super Bowl too.
who didn't?
I'm not sure. I'm sure we did a couple sets and then closed down early. But,
Right? Very cool.
But yeah, that snowstorm really.
Yeah, I didn't know if it'd be, you know, scaring people inside of the theater, but I guess most people are like, I ain't gonna be out driving in that stuff.
Well, I saw They Shall Not Grow Old, and
Really?
I was just blown away by it.
Now, for
And
people
I
that aren't familiar
agree.
with this is some actual World War I footage, I understand, that's been
Yes.
colorized and,
Colorized, and he did.
Revived.
That's a great word. It was revived. It was brought back to life. And these young men were living for us on the screen. It was just, I've never seen anything like it. And I agree that it would be great to show this to juniors and seniors and perhaps freshmen, people all the way through college, but high school juniors and seniors as a historical thing.
yeah.
Hey, Chad Gower out there, calling you. You could, he's a social studies history teacher at the high school, and I think he would really like to see this, so.
So nationwide, I mean, you said it didn't really go well here or down in Wickenburg, but nationwide, do we know how this thing is
Well,
done?
it did okay, I guess. They did a really weird thing with it too. They were doing just 2 days a month. I mean, this actually came out last November
Huh.
for the centennial of World War One. But they played it, across the country. I think just November 10th and then November 21st in like 800 theaters.
Wow.
And so just that one day, and then that was it. Then they did the same thing in December, 2 days, and they did the same thing in January. So it was a really weird release schedule. I've never seen a movie released like that before. And I'm not sure what they were thinking, or I think they would have done better if they would have just kind of gone with it. But yeah, I don't know if that was some of it too, or I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what happened there.
Wow.
I really thought we were gonna,
Was that one that you saw, Andy, also?
You betcha.
And what was your, yeah, obviously, she said you wrote a review on it. What was your opinion? I didn't see that review.
You didn't?
I,
Oh,
they weren't delivering the newspaper on our side of the creek either.
it's available online.
I haven't subscribed there yet. The sun was in my eyes. I tripped over a rock and I didn't have my Wheaties.
Doggy, you're over. Hey.
Yeah, I gave it 5 salt blade, the highest
Wow.
possible accolade.
And I second that.
Yeah, for a number of reasons, but I want to speak just to the technical aspects of the movie. He had 800 hours of archival footage from the Imperial War Museum.
Wow.
And this was back in the days. Of course, it's black and white, and it's no sound, because it's before that stuff became available.
And
Sure.
hand cranked.
Hand cranked.
Yep.
So you can imagine guys out in the trenches with this camera, and they're turning the crank. That was 100 years ago.
Right.
And the film, in the 100 years, the original celluloid film has markedly deteriorated, as film has a
Sure.
tendency to do. And one of the things that Peter Jackson did to his everlasting credit is he revived the film. He made it so that it was watchable again. And if that was all that he did, if all that he had done was to rehabilitate the film, that would have been enough for most people.
So this was kind of in a documentary format?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but then he also had lip readers to look at all of the silent dialogue, and then he had voices put to these people. So these people
Wow.
were...
Can you imagine the tedious work involved?
The man is a genius,
Huh.
really, and so dedicated. And had, it was his grandfather, I believe, who was in World War I.
Yep, he's
Yeah.
dedicated the film to
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Wow, very
Yeah.
cool.
It's
Sorry I
really...
missed that one.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like it out there, and everybody should really try to get to see this.
And Peter Jackson, I guess, is a history buff among his other activities, but he had a great selection of authentic World War I uniforms. So when you saw a guy in the movie filmed in black and white, but then revived with the color, he matched the color of the patches on the guy's shoulders with a real uniform
Yeah,
when they colorized it. So it was exactly, it was like walking into the real world.
That
It
had
was
to be
just amazing.
tremendous, I mean, I know a little bit about how that stuff is done. That had to be tremendously
Yeah.
painstaking, tedious
Oh, yeah.
I can't
And
imagine
seeing it on the
anything
big
else.
screen, I mean, I
That
know,
would be
you know,
cool.
you can go find it but if anybody out there gets a chance to see it on the big screen, don't pass it up.
Wow.
It's really- And stay through the, the
Oh,
credits and
yeah,
then
absolutely.
the explanation at the end, it's really
Yeah.
worthwhile.
One of the things that, just to point out the degree that Peter Jackson went to, and Peter Jackson, for those of you who don't recognize the name, is the guy who did the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh, right.
And The Hobbit.
And The Hobbit, and kind of single-handedly created a world-class film industry in New Zealand, of all places.
Mhm.
So at the bottom of the earth, there's this thriving, spectacularly successful film industry going on.
And what an amazing location to be able to have that. That's,
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Peter Jackson, just as an aside, did a movie called Dead Alive as a young movie maker, which was a fantastic zombie flick.
Of course it has to come back to the zombies.
Always. But,
Giving you your brain food on KMOG.
yeah. But just to show you how painstaking and authentic that he made the movie. In the closing credits, they sing the famous World War I song, Mademoiselle from Armentières.
Right.
Apparently, and I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but apparently people in England and people in New Zealand have detectably different accents.
You'd be able to tell the difference.
I
It's
would?
really,
Okay.
it's quite noticeable.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you are.
I mean, think Australian versus British.
Okay,
Yeah.
Or think New York versus Texas.
Yeah,
okay.
like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
all right. So he wanted to have this song, but he's in New Zealand, right? So all the people that he got that can sing songs are New Zealanders who have a New Zealand accent. So he went to the British Embassy and he rounded up a bunch of guys to come and sing this song for him that were English.
Hmm.
And that's just remarkable. I couldn't believe when I read
And they
that.
showed them.
Yes.
In front of the microphones.
With great
as well as
gusto.
Yes, it was really.
So really, but a lot of attention to detail.
Absolutely.
Absolutely impeccable.
Hey, speaking of attention to detail, one of the things we need to do here real quick before a weather break is let you know about what else is playing at the Sawmill Theaters. You can also take the kids or just take yourself down and see How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World. When Hiccup discovers Toothless isn't he toothless. Is that really the thing's name?
Yeah, it's the dragon's name.
Okay. Anyway, I'll keep the Toothless jokes to myself. Anyway, and when he finds out that Toothless isn't the only Night Fury, he must seek the hidden world, a secret dragon utopia, before a hired tyrant named Grimmel finds it first. All right, anyway, it's rated PG, plays at 1, 4, and 7. 4 o'clock, by the way, is in 3D. Also, that movie, Isn't It Romantic? A romantic comedy. A young woman disenchanted with love mysteriously finds herself trapped inside a romantic comedy. That's rated PG-13, plays at 1, 3:10, 5:20, and 7:30. Also, Alita, Battle Angel, that's apparently just a nice, warm, fuzzy, knock the baloney out of everybody type of movie. Is that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's, and a little bit of a warning, I guess. It is a PG-13.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of pushed that rating, though.
Really?
There's,
This is a hard PG-13.
yeah, there's guidelines out there for what makes a movie PG-13 and what makes a movie R. And of course, the producers of these movies know exactly what that is, and they kind of push this one.
Interesting. Well, anyway, that's a young woman's journey to discover who she is and her fight to change the world. Alita, Battle Angel, plays at 1:15, 4:15, and 7:15. And finally, The Upside, an unemployed man with a criminal record who's hired to help a wealthy quadriplegic. Plays at 1, 4, and 7. That's rated PG-13 as well. How's that one been going in the theater so far?
Incredibly.
Really?
Yeah, well,
Wow.
It's been here
6
5
weeks.
weeks,
Yeah,
6
yeah,
weeks.
that's
And it's still doing good.
Yeah.
If you do want to see that,
Who knows?
Next week we're looking at, next week is Captain Marvel, of course, is the big one there.
Right.
We're starting to head back into.
Oh, boy.
Hey, but these comic book
I'm
movies...
cycling back to being cranky, okay? Sorry.
But you know what?
Sound very sincere.
The people who aren't being cranky are the people that are kicking these movies out because they're making boatloads of bucks,
Yeah.
right?
Well, this is going back. This is a lead up to the Avengers.
Right.
You know, we've got the Avengers Endgame coming up on April 26th, I think. So this Captain Marvel movie leads directly into that, and yeah, it's a guaranteed blockbuster. This thing's gonna pull in a lot of money.
All right. Now, we have to take a fast break, get you caught up on today's weather. And when we come back, we're also asking, as far as a bit of a, a poll question this morning, your favorite movie that had snow as a major element in the movie. Of course, we've all been, I don't know if you've been enjoying the snow, but we've all been enduring the snow for the last week or so. So, what's your favorite movie that had snow in it? I'll give you a hint on mine. Here's Johnny.
Your KMOG weather forecast for Friday, March 1st.
All right.
Sunny skies in River Country today.
Actually, I don't like horror flicks.
To be near 60.
Life has got enough horror in it already. I don't need any of that crap.
We haven't done that one in slasher films.
Yeah.
Slashers! The Tono Basin and those visiting Roosevelt Lake, your high on this Friday, 72 degrees.
Oh, I got it. All right.
Well, it does look like there's a chance.
I was trying to think of a good movie that had. What was the movie that had the cocaine as a big part of the story? Stick that in there as a joke.
Well, did you see the cops down in Tucson do that?
Yeah,
video?
that was pretty creative.
Yeah.
Strange, unexplained life stuff on the ground.
Powdery substance on the ground.
Yeah.
Snow dogs. That was so cute.
Can be part of your medical team.
Here we go, 10 seconds. This is going to be epic. Yeehaw.
Health, Banner Payson Medical Center.
Got a caller on the line.
Right here at home.
25 minutes now in front of 10 o'clock, 49 degrees. Again, if you tuned in late, as we always do on Fridays, talking with the movie guys here. We've got Craig, Tina, and Andy with us and taking calls from you at 474-2427. And let's just go right to the phones. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Hello. Well, they come and they go, So, anyway, we were chatting during the break there. Again, your favorite movie that had snow as a major part or a major theme in the movie, and I was talking about The Shining, of course, with Jack Nicholson. That being snowed in. I guess that place really does exist up in Colorado. I've not been to it, but it looks like boy, in the winter it looks like it's a rather foreboding place.
Being locked in there, yeah.
Well, we'll get back to that in a second. We got another caller. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Very good. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I just called in with the movie question you were talking.
Right. So you got a favorite movie that had snow as a major part of the deal?
I don't know. Hopefully it's appropriate. It's called Blow.
Oh, yeah.
You are so giving that prefix.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they stayed awake late, that's for sure. Yeah. You two things. Isn't that quite the kind of snow we were talking about? But that's okay. What the heck?
Johnny Depp.
Yeah, a great movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I
Yeah.
saw
It
that.
was a good movie.
It was Johnny Depp?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the cocaine industry back in the 80s.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was
Big time.
bringing, what the one line in the movie was, if you did coke in the 80s, it was probably through him.
Really? Wow. So, do we have some more scintillating information here, Tina?
No, I was just going to say snow movies. I had forgotten one of my favorites.
Ah.
Fargo.
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 Yep.
Just-
The whole thing was
the
in-
whole thing is about
in the winter time,
and
yeah.
the snow and yeah.
Well, living in Fargo, the whole winter is about living in the snow,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's sadly another movie I have not seen.
Oh,
That was like, what,
why are you even interviewing us? I don't even know.
That's why they pay me the big bucks. Was that just 2-3 years ago on Fargo? How long ago was that?
Oh, Lord mercy, that's a
That
while
was
back.
long ago to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get to the
Yes,
theaters more often.
1996.
96.
Randy.
Well, that was just last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, really.
Seems like it. Wow, so interesting. Well, so now I wanted to also bring up this morning that because of all the grief that I constantly endure because I don't get to the theater that often, it's important to note that while sequestered on the east side of Tonto Creek in Tonto Basin over the past couple of weeks, I was able to get a little pay-per-view action going on my satellite TV programming, and finally watched the latest rendition of A Star Is Born. And I have to say, I'd forgotten, even though I remember the 1970s version, I don't think I ever saw the original Judy Garland version, but But I'd forgotten that it was kind of a tragic end to part of the story there. But it was
Yeah, it sure was.
yeah, especially for him. It really was a well done movie, and I have to say, I was surprised by him because I was more familiar with him, and what's his name again? The male lead.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, I was more accustomed to seeing him in like wasn't he in The Office or no? It was some comedic role though.
Well, you started at Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, he played a jerk, but The Hangover.
Oh, The Hangover. That's where that must have been where.
Yeah, but he was also in The Mule as a fairly prominent role,
Right.
which unfortunately, another cranky thing, the Oscars didn't give Clint any creds, no
Yeah.
recognition. I mean, seriously.
I
Yeah.
guess it'll come as no shock to you that I've not seen that movie yet. But nonetheless, I was really impressed with A Star Is Born, and I think more than anything, I think I was impressed with Lady Gaga.
Oh, she can sing.
She can sing,
Yep.
she can act,
Yes, she can.
and everything else that they showed about her was entertaining as well.
Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another, I just want to segue sharply to another movie about snow.
Mhm.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
Ah.
I tell you,
The
that's one of
Thing
the
is-
scariest movies I've ever seen.
Really?
With Kurt Russell. But it's not too scary that I don't want to see it again. I have actually seen it about 5, 6, 10 times. And
Yes.
the great quote from that is, I don't know what the hell's in there, but it's weird and pissed off, whatever it is.
There you go.
And I'll tell you, John Carpenter does his own music, and the music to that, whew, man, it's perfect.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this is
That's a great movie.
This is a case where the remake is better than the original.
Indeed,
Wow,
I
very
agree with you.
interesting.
Yeah,
All
well,
right.
anything by John Carpenter is great. So,
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's get back on the phones again. 20 minutes in front of 10 o'clock. Hi, thanks for waiting. You're on Rim Country Forum. Yes, how you doing?
Yeah. Yes,
Which is
we
also-
were just looking at that.
We were
yeah.
also talking about that as being another great movie that featured a cranky woman in it.
So we got a twofer.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
So-
no, very good, and yeah, I know, and it says, they have on what I'm looking on here, blizzard level for that one, a 9,
Wow.
just like The Thing.
Right.
Yeah,
You know-
yeah, that's a good choice.
And caller, one of the things that we were talking before the show, we've been talking about that movie, and that was another one of those that just, gosh, there's never a moment where you're just comfortably sitting and watching a movie. That one kept me on the edge of my seat, and I was very uncomfortable for all 2 hours and however many minutes
You
long
were
that
afraid
was.
of losing a limb.
So you're saying the women found this a very, gratifying then, right? All right. I see where this is going.
We love our callers.
I'm suddenly, hey, thank you. Glad we had you on the phone, not in the studio. Anyway, we appreciate the call. Just kidding. That was a strange, twisted movie. But and there have been strange, twisted, real life stories like that at times from different
Yeah.
corners of the world. But that was a tough one to watch, and it probably is more because I'm a guy, and I found that whole thing.
No, I found it as tough.
Yeah.
It's an evil movie.
Okay, now speaking of evil, let's just segue right from that into
The Oscars.
how'd you like the Oscars?
Oh, well, I didn't watch them.
Right?
I was supposed to. I actually was going to break down and go over to a chick fest, and we were going to.
A chick fest?
Chick fest.
I was invited as well.
Yeah,
so-
well, you were. Yeah. But I mean, you're.
I never
you'd
get
be
invited.
special. Well, you know where you were. You couldn't cross the creek.
Yeah. Lord willing, the creek don't
Creek
rise.
don't,
I'll get
creek
back home today
rose,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I'm happy about some of the wins. I'm very happy about Bohemian Rhapsody,
Mhm.
and Rami winning Best Actor. I really think he did a phenomenal job.
But I hear a big but coming. Or
Well-
maybe I should say a big however.
Okay, however, they didn't have a host because they got rid of Kevin
Kevin Hart.
Hart, who is in The Upside, who was fabulous.
Mhm.
And they got rid of him because of some, Stone Age, allegedly un-PC comment that he made about
Right.
homosexuality, I believe it was. But excuse me, he's a comic. I
Yeah.
mean, Mel Brooks, I give you Mel Brooks, okay?
Yeah. Try to do some of the movies Mel Brooks did back in the day today, and that's about as un-PC as it
Yeah.
gets.
And we were
That's
talking,
why- that's why I
talking
watched
about the
all of it.
producers,
Yeah.
for spring, they could sing
Right.
Springtime for Hitler. But yeah, there was this guy, Billy Porter, who wore a ball gown because he's fierce, and because he's fearless, and because he's whatever he is. And I'm like, no, Carol Burnett wore it better in Went with the Wind with the curtain rods, and Scarlett O'Hara wore it better too in Gone with the
I
Wind.
think
But,
I
seriously, this
think
guy,
I fell asleep before that part of the show.
what is so fierce and fearless and okay, sorry, blah, blah, blah. Just cranky.
So just men in dresses kind of bugs you.
Yeah,
Yeah, good.
yeah.
That's what I like about you, Tina.
Oh, thank you.
But you know, one of the things that I didn't see all of it. I go to bed pretty early, and so I just watched the beginning of the thing, and then I was checking out. But I was thoroughly entertained and had a lot of admiration for the performance that Lady Gaga and
Yes.
what's his face.
And I saw that
did.
too.
And
yes.
I thought for a live stage performance, that was pretty darn good.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now one of the other things that
They were so good that people had the notion that they were authentically romantically engaged.
I've seen the news stories
Yeah,
out yesterday.
rumor
We're not actually in
has-
love.
Rumor. I don't know.
But no, it was
Yeah.
it's just good acting.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
They were able to portray that electric connection, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Women have a way with that.
Well, and my husband was like, "Oh, I didn't know Bradley Cooper could actually sing." I said,
Boy,
"Yeah,
you know,
dude,
and he
sang,
did
yeah."
he did a very admirable job.
He really did.
Now, one other quick thing that we're going to come back to, we have to take a fast break, but when we come back, I want to also find out just a little bit when it comes to the Academy Awards about some of the other high and low points. I know that one of the things that Tina and I went back and forth on via the internet the other day is that the whole thing, the movie about Freddie Mercury, and everything, maybe had some twists that went a little astray,
Askew.
or something from reality. We'll find out more about that coming up next.
Our computer issues taking time away
Couldn't
from
figure out what the word is. Astray,
Estranged.
all of a sudden,
That
my
would be
brain was
yes,
going back to the
yes,
never-ending
right.
story. Atray you! Like, what? Yes, no, get off my shoulder. Dumb.
I don't know what button you push, but when the audio from the phone is visible or hearable, it's being picked up.
Yeah, and the problem is that when we have the microphones turned on, that monitor shuts down so we don't get feedback. And so I was trying to keep their microphones shut off as much as I could so you could pick up some of what was being said there. But as soon as we start talking, I gotta hit the mics again, and then that cuts that monitor off. So,
This is why you
one of
get
the things that I want to do soon is I want to get wired from here a stereo microphone level output from here onto a micro mini jack, so I can just plug it right into like a tablet or a phone and do Facebook Live from in here. But and that way we would have on-air quality audio going into it, all the audio coming right out of the microphones. But also when we cut to a commercial, the people watching that would hear the commercials, and that would leave us the ability to say all the weird and cantankerous stuff that we're used to saying during commercial breaks.
That's why I'm leaving the commercials in, or the
I was just kidding. All right, here we go, 19 seconds. I have no idea where we're going with this next, so let's just
Oscars.
take it. Have fun. I do want to talk about, what was it, what's the Queen movie's name again?
Oh, Bohemian.
Bohemian Rhapsody, yes. Okay.
Not your wallet. Little Stinker Septic Service, 477.
I haven't seen that movie either.
I saw
Welcome
it.
back to Room Country Forum, 13 minutes in front of 10 o'clock, 50 degrees. Again, looking for that high today of 61. And we'll give you a little bit better look at your full 7-day forecast coming up. It's got some ups and downs headed our way. Well, this morning on Rim Country Forum, talking with the movie guys, Tina, Craig, and Andy with us in the studio, and taking calls from you as well at 474-2427. We were just before the break talking about the Academy Awards. And Tina, I know one of the things that got your knickers in a knot the other day was that you had heard reports that the folks that wrote the movie Bohemian Rhapsody maybe took a little bit of I don't know, license or whatever to change history?
Yes, and I these things keep floating in on me, and it makes me cranky because.
So that's what does it.
Well, there's so much.
Okay.
Because I don't mind if they say, you know, it's taken from a true story with, you know, with adaptations, or, I mean, I'm fine with that. This is the movies, okay? We don't expect everything to be authentic.
Right.
Like, you know, they shall never grow old. I mean, that, and even that, you know, there you are. It was morphed. But there were some changes made in the story, and again, I thought Rami Malek, just to go back to Best Actor, he was extraordinary. And there's even a thing on YouTube that shows the actual Live Aid concert, right, split screen with him doing his version, and it is dead on, spot on.
Wow.
Even to the arrangement of the Coke cans and everything on the piano.
So, I mean, they really studied the original.
He studied it, they studied it, and it's everybody should see this movie for his portrayal. However, one of the criticisms, which I didn't share with you, but when Rami said, you know, a gay man, you know, this is a story about a gay man, there were all kinds of people who came up and said, no, he was bisexual, because he had this wonderful girlfriend who he adored and was, you know, supposed to marry. Now, I know from living through the time.
But double your chances of getting a date on Saturday night?
Yeah, really. And I know from living through and remembering Freddie when he was alive, not that I met him, but you know, yeah, I mean, he died of AIDS, okay?
Right.
It was the gay disease.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that's a little bit superficial. But some of the storyline apparently was changed. And the band members said, you know, oh gosh, you know, that wasn't the way it happened.
Yeah, there's a sequence in the movie where the movie portrayed an estrangement between Freddie Mercury and the rest of the band.
Right.
And apparently that was
It never happened.
That was not true.
Yeah.
They were apart, but they were apart without being estranged.
Yeah.
They were still good pals
Yeah,
and colleagues.
yeah, and they played, some of them played
Right.
backup on some of his solo albums, and,
Yep.
yeah, so creating an estrangement didn't need to happen. It
Right.
could have been done.
Yeah, I don't see how that advanced the story.
I don't either. Yeah, unless, you know, Hollywood is sort of a bit clumsy about those melodrama things.
Well, the good news is Michelle here at the KMOG Studios has purchased the DVD and is lending it to me as I leave today,
Oh,
or
God,
soon anyway. And
Yes.
so I'll actually have a chance to see that. But
Yeah.
I'm anxious to see it.
It's really extraordinarily done, and I mean, I saw it 3 times
Right.
in the theater.
So,
yeah.
Tina, you're satisfied with Oscar's choice for Best Actor,
I am indeed.
and I'm satisfied with the Oscar's choice for Best Movie,
Yes.
The Green Book.
Yes, of
Which-
course,
what-
there is that thing. It
Yeah,
made me cranky,
yeah.
but, you know, aside from that.
Another one that went a little astray of
Ay,
grace.
Well,
Yes, Mary.
allegedly, I'm
Allegedly,
not
yeah.
convinced that that's true.
Well, it is the black guy's family who said, you know, that this and this and this was not true, and it was written by the white guy's family. So,
Yeah.
and who knows? I mean, I'll have to do more research when and if
Interesting.
I have time.
So the Green Book, is that still out in theaters anywhere these days?
You know, I'm sure you can still find it in a few plays. Well, we just got rid of it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, but it should be out on DVD.
Yeah, it's coming up on DVD here
Yeah.
pretty quick. In fact, I think here in the middle of, where are we at now?
March.
Middle of March, yeah.
A couple of weeks, wow.
Middle of March, I think it's
So,
out.
need to
But
ask,
certainly a movie that's worthy of our attention.
Wow.
yeah,
And
excellent.
it's really well done,
Yeah.
and the interaction between these two people who are as far apart culturally as you can get and still be both American citizens.
and the other movie we were talking about the actual First World War footage and everything, the name of that movie again was,
They Shall Not Grow Old.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that something also that should be out on DVD here soon?
I don't know what they're doing. I would imagine so.
Impossible to predict.
Yeah, it's been a really strange. I would assume that it'll be out here pretty
What,
quick.
they haven't
yes.
called you yet?
Yeah. Interesting. Well, now, we're, you know, running close to running out of time here, so wanted to make sure that we
We got plenty to talk about. Can't we go another hour?
Oh, sure, why not? Yeah. One of the things that I think we need to also just remind people of is that we're getting close to that time of year where all of a sudden we're going to be getting some more new movies in, right?
Yeah, well, like I said, we're kind of getting ready to switch up here. You know, with March, we've got spring break coming up here for the
Right,
kids.
right.
So that's one of the months that the studios release some big films.
And it's like with this not
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain
Captain Marvel. And at the end of March, we've got Dumbo.
Oh.
coming out also. It looks pretty interesting. That's,
Man, I haven't seen flying elephants since the 70s.
yeah. Yeah, and again, they're using this animation, you know, where the elephant, of course, is animated and.
I saw the trailers for that. It looks, I mean, the special effects looks amazing, and that elephant's got eyes that just make you want to tear up. You know, but anyway, it looks like it'd be a lot of fun.
It should be another solid.
Like they got Danny DeVito in there. I mean, there's a bunch of big names in
Eva
here.
Green's in there.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like fun.
Yes, Eva Green's in it.
You know that much anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we talked about Misery a little bit. We've
Right.
got a Pet Cemetery remake coming up in early April.
I remember seeing
Zombie
that.
kitty cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty creepy. Yeah.
Okay, so you go back to the Stephen King book on that. That is the scariest book I ever read.
I saw that movie. Gosh, that's been out what, in the 70s that came out, something like that.
Yeah, but the book.
Really? Well, and there we go into that whole. I think that. You always hear people saying, "Oh, the book was so much better than the movie." But I mean, our imagination's ability to read the words and put and fabricate the pictures in our own mind is so much better than than Hollywood could try to replicate.
Well, if you have someone like Stephen King, if you've read any of Stephen King's books, he really does paint a picture, and he's really got a twisted brain.
Yeah, I'm not sure
something
that's
going on.
somebody I'd want to.
Yeah, there is.
I don't think that's somebody I'd want to spend like a weekend retreat snowed in up in Colorado with necessarily.
And we're going to have we got Pet Cemetery, and then in October is the second part of It. That the remake that they did there, that came out 2 years ago, I think. Well, it'll be 2 years ago.
So there was a first part of it, now there's a second part.
Yeah, well, on the It series, the kids all run into this monster clown, and they kind of defeat him but don't kill him, and then he comes back 26 years later or something, and they got to go back and fight him again.
He's a zombie.
The last one was really good.
Huh.
And that was one of my favorite horror films.
And I mean, aside from if you like horror films being a really good movie, it also did really good in the theaters, right?
Oh yeah, it did great. It really well made, and just super creepy. Pennywise is.
And on another note, when's the next Star Wars movie coming out?
Star Wars, we've got Star Wars, December.
December.
Yeah,
So-
they took a 2-year break there. But yeah, we're into this. Will be the final Star Wars movie from the original
8 or whatever. it was.
nine
yeah.
that George Lucas originally had planned on. This will be the final, the end of the Skywalker
Yeah.
saga.
Or will it be?
Or will it be? I think they've kind of.
But the last one didn't do super good, but it still did pretty well, didn't it?
Yeah, well, Star Wars movies are gonna.
Yeah.
A bad Star Wars movie is gonna make a ton of money.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it.
Really?
I really did it.
Hey, don't candy coat it for
No,
us, Greg. Let's give it to us.
I'll go further. It ruined my childhood. That's how bad I thought that film was.
Wow.
Luke Skywalker sitting on a rock during the whole movie just irritated me. But,
Yeah.
Oh, cranky.
Cranky
Yeah.
men now too.
I am now, yeah.
All right,
Brought
Tina.
that up.
All right, Tina. Favorite cranky man in a movie?
Oh, goodness.
I'm thinking Clint Eastwood sitting on his front porch would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, in
Gran
Gran
Torino.
Torino.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah, I know. Clint can do cranky like nobody.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson too.
Oh, there you
yeah,
go.
yeah, really.
But next week we have Captain Marvel, and as has been a big change from the comic book, the new Captain Marvel on the movies is a girl, and not just a girl, but it's
Brie Larson.
Brie Larson, who the terrific actress, and she got Best Actress here a couple of years ago for a movie called The Room.
Oh.
So not only is she a good action heroes sort, but she's a tremendous actress as well.
All right, only about 2 minutes left here. We do have another caller on the line. Hi, you're on Rim Country Forum. Good morning. Annette Bening is in what movie?
Oh, Captain Marvel.
Oh, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Could be.
Uh,
Well, let's grab grumpy as opposed to
Yeah.
cranky. Now you gotta watch it.
That was a good movie. I did like that one.
Yeah, it was good.
Walter.
Walter
Walter
Matthau.
Matthau, yeah.
Yes, my father used to say he had a face like an unmade bed. I think that's
You know, that's probably one of the better ways you could put that. I think there's some worse ones, but interesting. Well, the bottom line is there's a lot of good things playing at the Sawmill Theaters. Even though it's kind of cold and nasty outside, it's nice and warm inside. You can go in and see The King and I starting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. For just $5 for the Saturday morning classic movie that comes up once a month on the first Saturday of the month. So check that out tomorrow at 10. Also, Cold Pursuit, Happy Death Day to You, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, Isn't It Romantic, Alita, Battle Angel, and The Upside, all playing at the Sawmill Theaters. And of course, you can always just log on online at sawmilltheaters.com, find out what's playing, when it's playing. Or you can feel free to call Craig even at 2 o'clock in the morning at 602-377-0719. That's 602-377-0719. And they'll get you taken care of on what else going on. Hey, thanks to the movie guys, for the hometown movie guys, for coming in this morning.
When the credits were coming up on How to Train Your Dragon, two little, like 3 or 4 year old girls danced in the theater.
Aww.
Really?
All through as long as the theme music was going on, they were twirling, and spinning.
That would have been fun.
Oh, it was just delightful. So it's the Train Your Dragon is a good movie to go see with kids.
All right. Rim Country Forum brought to you by Banner Payson Medical Center, Little Stinker Septic Service, George Henry Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, the Off-Road Trash Company, Sweets by Kim Ross, and ITD Group Computer Services. You're listening to Rim Country Radio, KMOG Payson. It's 10 o'clock. It's 51 degrees. Jason's up next with The Diner. Got a lot of great music and great ideas for lunch coming your way.